Imagine an era where the fate of entire civilizations hung in balance, where the ambitions of one man could redraw the map of the known world. This was the age of Alexander the Great and the Persian Empire. Picture the young king of Macedonia, Alexander, a man of boundless ambition, strategic mind, and unmatched military prowess. Now visualize the Persian Empire, the most formidable force of the time, stretching from Egypt to India, a realm of unimaginable wealth and power. These two titans, each at the pinnacle of their influence, were set on a collision course that would forever alter the course of history. The stakes were unimaginably high, the battlefield soaked in the bravery and blood of countless soldiers. Epic does not even begin to describe the magnitude of their conflict. This is the story of one of the greatest military campaigns in history: Alexander the Great versus the Persian Empire. To understand this epic conflict, we must first delve into its roots. The origins of the conflict between Alexander the Great and the Persian Empire can be traced back to the Greco-Persian Wars, a series of conflicts that occurred over a half a century before Alexander's rise to power. These wars ignited a deep-seated resentment within the Greeks towards the Persians. The Persian Empire, at the height of its power, had invaded Greece, laying waste to cities and enslaving its people. Though Persia's attempt at conquest was ultimately thwarted, the memory of this aggression was seared into the collective consciousness of the Greeks. Fast forward to the reign of Philip II of Macedon, Alexander's father. Philip had a grand vision of uniting the Greek city-states under his rule and leading a united Greek front against Persia. His untimely demise, however, meant that this dream passed on to his young son, Alexander. Alexander, a prodigy in both intellect and warfare, took up his father's mantle and brought Philip's vision to reality. With the Greek city-states united, he turned his gaze eastward towards the vast expanse of the Persian Empire. On the other side, the Persian Empire, under the rule of Darius III, was a colossus that stretched from Egypt to India. Despite its size, the empire was plagued by internal strife and weak leadership. Darius III, though a king in title, was essentially a puppet controlled by his court. The Persians viewed the Greeks as insignificant, a minor annoyance at the edge of their enormous empire. They were, however, oblivious of the storm that was brewing in the west. Alexander's ambition was not merely revenge for the past Persian aggression. He sought to eclipse the glory of Persian kings and establish a new world order under his rule. The Persians, on the other hand, were determined to maintain their dominance and quell the Greek upstart. Thus, the stage was set for a clash of titans, a conflict that would reshape the world as it was known then. In a series of decisive battles, the course of this war, and indeed the course of history, was determined. It is in these moments of chaos and conflict that the true brilliance of Alexander the Great shone brightest. Today, we delve into the key battles that mark the epic confrontation between Alexander and the Persian Empire. First, let's set our sights on the Battle of Granicus, fought in the spring of 334 before the Common Era. Alexander's forces, though outnumbered, were far from outmatched. The genius of his military strategy was on full display as he led his army across the Granicus River and into the fray. Alexander himself led the charge, his fearless presence inspiring his men to fight with unmatched ferocity. Despite the Persians' numerical advantage, Alexander's superior tactics won the day. The Battle of Granicus was a resounding victory that marked the beginning of Alexander's unstoppable march into Persian territory. Moving ahead, we find ourselves at the Battle of Issus, fought in November of the same year. Alexander, undeterred by the daunting Persian force, led his men into battle with the same fiery determination. The Persians, led by King Darius III himself, had chosen a narrow battlefield, hoping to limit the effectiveness of Alexander's famed phalanx formation. However, Alexander turned this apparent disadvantage into a strategic strength, using the confined space to disrupt the Persian lines and create havoc within their ranks. Despite being outnumbered, Alexander's forces emerged victorious, proving that it's not the size of the army in the fight, but the size of the fight in the army. Next, we turn our gaze to the Battle of Gaugamela, fought in 331 before the Common Era. This was the grand stage on which Alexander would face King Darius once again. Darius had chosen a wide, flat battlefield, hoping to utilize his superior numbers to envelop Alexander's forces. However, Alexander, ever the tactical virtuoso, used a brilliant maneuver known as the oblique order. He shifted the bulk of his forces to one flank, creating a powerful local superiority that overwhelmed the Persian lines. Alexander's forces cut through the Persian army like a hot knife through butter, securing a decisive victory and marking the beginning of the end for the Persian Empire. These battles weren't just about territory or power, they were a test of wills, a test of strategies, and above all, a test of leadership. Alexander's victories were a testament to his indomitable will, his innovative strategies, and his inspiring leadership. Each victory brought him closer to his ultimate goal, the conquest of the Persian Empire. His prowess in battle was not the only thing that set him apart. Alexander was not just a conqueror, he was a leader of people. After each victory, he went to great lengths to win the hearts and minds of the conquered. He adopted Persian customs, married Persian princesses, and treated his new subjects with respect. He wasn't just building an empire, he was building a legacy. But these victories were not without cost. Thousands of lives were lost, cities were razed, and cultures were forever changed. War, as it often does, left a trail of destruction in its wake. Yet amidst the chaos and destruction, Alexander's dream of a combined Greco-Persian empire began to take shape. His vision of a world united under one banner was becoming a reality, one battle at a time. With these victories, Alexander had not only conquered territories but also the hearts and minds of people. His tactical genius, his indomitable spirit, and his visionary leadership forever changed the course of history. The legacy of Alexander the Great lives on, not just in the pages of history books, but in the hearts and minds of those who dare to dream, to fight, and to lead. But it was not just the battlefield where Alexander proved his mettle. Alexander's genius was not confined to open warfare. He excelled in siege warfare as well, and the siege of Tyre stands as a testament to his strategic brilliance. Tyre, an island city, seemed impregnable. Its walls plunged directly into the sea, making a naval assault nearly impossible. But Alexander, undeterred, determined to take the city. He ordered the construction of a causeway, a monumental task that took months to complete. Despite facing numerous challenges, including attacks from the Tyrians and a massive naval counteroffensive, Alexander's determination did not waver. He pressed on, and after 7 long months, Tyre fell. This victory significantly weakened the Persian navy, shifting the balance of power in the Mediterranean. Next came Persepolis, the ceremonial capital of the Persian Empire, a symbol of Persian power and wealth. After a brief siege, Alexander's army entered the city. What followed remains a topic of debate among historians. Some say Alexander, in a fit of drunken rage, ordered the burning of the city's palace as a symbolic act of revenge for the Persian invasion of Greece years before. Others argue it was a calculated move to demonstrate his absolute power over the Persians. Regardless of the motive, the fall of Persepolis marked the end of an era. It symbolized the collapse of Persian power and the dawn of a new age, the Hellenistic age. Alexander had not just defeated an empire, he had toppled a dynasty that had ruled for over 200 years. These turning points, the siege of Tyre and the fall of Persepolis, demonstrated Alexander's strategic acumen and indomitable will. They were not just victories, they were statements, clear, loud, and resounding messages to the world that Alexander was not a conqueror to be underestimated. These turning points marked the beginning of the end for the Persian Empire. The final stages of the war saw the once mighty Persian Empire crumble under the might of Alexander's forces. As the Macedonian army advanced, the Persian king, Darius III, found himself cornered. His vast empire was falling apart, and his once loyal subjects were now pledging allegiance to Alexander. In a desperate attempt to salvage his dignity and his throne, Darius made a final stand. But his efforts were in vain. Betrayed by his own men, Darius was assassinated, leaving the Persian Empire leaderless and vulnerable. His death marked the end of the Achaemenid Empire, a dynasty that had ruled over Persia for more than 2 centuries. With Darius gone, Alexander was left unopposed. He swiftly took control of the Persian heartland, declaring himself the king of Asia. But his ambition didn't stop there. He pressed on, leading his forces deeper into the empire. He conquered Bactria, crossed the Hindu Kush, and even reached the banks of the Indus River, effectively bringing the entire Persian Empire under his control. Yet it wasn't just about conquest for Alexander. He sought to merge the cultures of Greece and Persia to create a new world order. He adopted Persian customs, married a Persian princess, and encouraged his men to do the same. It was a bold move, one that was met with resistance from his own men, but it was a testament to Alexander's vision. In just a few short years, Alexander had achieved what seemed impossible. He had toppled the Persian Empire, the greatest power of the ancient world, and replaced it with his own. His military genius, his indomitable will, and his grand vision had reshaped the world. But his reign, like his life, was short-lived. At the age of 32, Alexander died in Babylon, leaving behind an empire that stretched from Greece to India. His empire would later fragment, but his legacy would live on, influencing generations to come. Thus, the once mighty Persian Empire fell, and Alexander the Great emerged as the undisputed ruler of the known world. But this epic tale is not just about battles and conquests. There are captivating anecdotes that bring the characters to life. For instance, despite their bitter rivalry, Alexander held deep respect for Darius III, the Persian king. After Darius's death, Alexander honored him with a magnificent funeral, a testament to the chivalry prevalent even amidst war. Then there's the story of Bucephalus, Alexander's beloved horse. More than just a steed, Bucephalus was Alexander's companion, his confidant. Legends narrate that Bucephalus was untamable, wild, until a young Alexander managed to calm him, forming a bond that lasted a lifetime. The horse partook in many battles, always at Alexander's side, and when Bucephalus died, Alexander was so devastated that he founded a city in his horse's name. These details add layers to the story, making it not just a tale of conquest, but also of respect, loyalty, and human emotions. The encounter between Alexander the Great and the Persian Empire was more than a war. It was a spectacle that profoundly changed the world. Their massive clash, the dramatic battles, and the far-reaching aftermath of their conflict still reverberate today. In an epic when a daring young Macedonian king defied the rule of an ancient empire, it was a groundbreaking event characterized courage, strategy, and a relentless quest for power. From the horse-drawn carriages traversing the banks of the Granicus to the grand entrance of Persepolis, every phase of Alexander's campaign reshaped the world in ways that continue to echo. His strategic genius, his unwavering determination, and his dream of a unified empire under his reign laid the groundwork for future conquerors. The narrative in the Persian Empire is more than a story. It serves as a testament to human ambition and the paradigm-shifting effect of confrontation. In the epic movie of history, this was one scene that unquestionably deserves the Oscar for Best Picture.